We are at the halfway point through the NBA season, which is about to take kind of center stage once the NFL season wraps up. So while we have the midseason upon us, let's take a look at some noteworthy headlines in the NBA. Halfway through the NBA season, and I think the Suns are going to win the title. That's my prediction. I just took them plus 600. I think I took them at like plus 300 to win the West as well. Currently the 1 seed. And I'm also now flip-flopping again, and I'm once again asking, should the Bulls be worried? Okay, let's start there, and then we'll get into the Suns in the West. But now for the Eastern Conference. Bulls still atop the East, but they've lost 4 straight. And okay, I know the Nets just lost KD, so a little hope there. But first of all, the 11th seeded Knicks, right? We go to the 10 seed now because of the play-in tournament for the NBA. So the 11th seeded Knicks, currently as it stands right now, a team that was, 4 or 5 last year, like a surprise last year. They're still hanging around with Coach Tibbs, Tom Thibodeau this year. They're 6 games back of the Bulls. 1 through 11 is separated by 6 games. The East is wide fucking open, wide open. Bulls, last 5 losses. Memphis, surprise team this year. They're like last year's Hawks team. Boston, Warriors, and the Nets before they lost KD. That Warriors loss was eye-opening. No Draymond, no Clay. Steph didn't even have to play virtually the second half. It was a blowout. Everyone thought it was the Bulls, and they laid an egg at home at the United Center. Are the Bulls this year's Hawks or Knicks, where they are a 4 or 5 seed? They're a surprise of the year, surprise team, but does it end in the first round, a la the Knicks, or in the conference title game, a la the Hawks? I think the Heat, Bucks, Nets still, and 76ers are better than the Bulls right now. I could see a scenario where the Bulls fall into that 4 or 5 spot, like the Hawks, like the Knicks. The Celtics just beat you. The Celtics are a team that have talent. Jaylen Brown is back playing well again. He was injured last year. Team that has been in the postseason year in, year out now for a handful of years. Look, again, I'm flip-flopping left and right here on your Chicago Bulls, but again, it's been a great story. I watch this team. I'm rooting for this team. They're fun to watch. Again, I don't know. Am I raising the alarm, or is this a pattern that you just can't, you're good, you just can't take out the top teams? And again, the Knicks are just 6 games, but you're 6 games from the 11th seed. I mean, that's again kind of a red flag for every team in the East, just signaling, hey, this thing is wide open. So again, once Super Bowl February comes in, again, it's halfway through. We got 40 plus games in the books. We still got 40 plus more games. Long way to go, but just some things to kind of key in on here at mid-season. Nets are confusing because of the Kyrie Irving situation. He's back playing on the road, but he's unvaccinated, says he won't get vaccinated, and he's rooted in on that. So he can't even get into his own building, the Barclays Center. Now the KD injury. So it's just going to be Harden at home games and Kyrie on the road. Maybe when Harden wants to play on the road too and work double duty. KD, a couple of weeks, he should be fine by the playoffs. But Djokovic is getting deported from countries, and Kyrie Irving, can't even play in his home stadium. Like, how am I supposed to analyze this team? It's what if the Knicks get hot and all of a sudden the Nets are, good Lord, they fall to the 12th in the conference or some shit. It's wide open. It's crazy. Okay. Why I like the Suns. 2 seed last year. They say run it back. Chris Paul. I'm rooting for him. He's probably one of the favorite players I've ever watched. I mean, there's LeBron, there's Kobe, obviously, but Chris Paul, something about a guy that short, but with great handles, great scoring ability. He's a giant slayer. He's done it with multiple teams. He's a winner. Love Chris Paul. Love watching him, rooting for him. And I think he could get done this year. He played in his first finals. Why not run it back this year? Who scares you in the West? Here's what the Suns offer, and it's 3 bona fide all-stars, like lock fire all-stars, Ayton, Booker, and Chris Paul. Mikal Bridges, who they just extended, he's like the Draymond Green glue guy for this team. Now, this isn't the Warriors, right, from their heyday, but it's a very talented team. And then, if that is my hand and I'm going all in at the poker table, what are you coming back with me in the West? The Warriors, they weren't there last year. Clay is still coming off an injury, and that core of Clay, Draymond, and Curry, which won a title, they're a lot older. And then when they won more titles, they don't have Kevin Durant anymore. I love what Wiggins is doing, but stop it. Okay, stop. Come on. We're not relying on Andrew Wiggins this year in the in the postseason. He's been great. Good for him. I'll take the Suns over that Warriors team, and that's where it is in the standings right now. And again, if they do meet in the Western Conference 7-game series, who knows? But I like a team that did it just last year with this group that says run it back. Warriors still kind of, it's like the older veterans trying to bring up the guys like Poole and their talented young guys. I like a little bit more. I think the Suns are in better shape there. Grizzlies, a year away. I think we're going to look back on the Zion Ja draft 1-2, kind of like Odin and Durant. I mean, it's unfortunate. We always knew there was injury questions looming around Zion, but you couldn't not take Zion, right? And then lo and behold, maybe Ja Morant was the star waiting in the wings behind him, because what he's doing is incredible. What the Grizzlies are doing is incredible. But again, a year away. Suns over the Grizzlies there. The Utah Jazz. Next question. Please, come on. Rudy Gobert. They do this every year. They're a good regular season team. Immediately, once they get to a series, game plan the fuck Rudy Gobert away from the basket. Boom, you're done. You're toast. You can't win against a good team. The Mavericks. They're literally the same team every year. Luka's great, but maybe Porzingis isn't the guy. He needs someone else. Clippers, if Kawhi returns, maybe. But what's the word on that? Lakers. Not without AD. Remember, the Suns took out the Lakers without AD in that 2-7 matchup in the playoffs. Weren't the Lakers favored as the 7th seed to win the title? How'd that go? And what do you do with Westbrook? He's been terrible. Is he, LeBron, he's a great player. He might be one of the worst GMs we've ever seen. Some of these, this was a LeBron decision. There's no reason other that Westbrook is wearing a Laker jersey right now is because LeBron thought it was a good idea. It was not. I told you that once it came across the trade desk. Once Adam Silver put pen to paper, that was not going to work. What has it worked for? 500 team, like everywhere Westbrook has gone in the last 5 years. They'll make the playoffs, make the play-in tournament. But are they going to, what are you going to offload them? Who's going to take Westbrook? The Lakers LeBron's always doing something at the deadline. Hard to always count them out, especially what LeBron is doing this year, which is incredible. He is putting up MVP numbers again, and he is the reason the Lakers are even 500. They are doing this in spite of the AD injury and Westbrook, just putting up nights where you're like, dude, can you even score anymore? Let's wrap up Corbett's Corner with my current MVP, NBA top 5 for MVP, my current list. Number 5, I'm going Steph. Most 3-pointers made per game in the league. Points per game, not quite up there, right? He's Steph. He's great. Former MVP. NBA like to give out their hardware twice. He's my current 5. They're no longer at the top of their division. Clay's back. Draymond's back. Draymond, I think, steals some votes there for what he's done with that defense, what he's gotten those young guys to do defensively for one of the top defenses in the league. So Steph, my number 5. Number 4, Embiid. No Simmons, no problem. Sixers, slow start. Embiid's been injured. When he's been out there, he's been fantastic. He's one of the best in the business right now. He's my number 4. LeBron, tearing it up. He's, now that Durant's injured, watch out for LeBron to lead the lead in scoring. He right now is number 3 for me because Jokic is putting up numbers like he did last year when he won the MVP. He's leading the league in player efficiency rating. He is just a magician on the court. He does a little bit of everything, but the Nuggets are a little bit above 500, and that's about it. Which is why my number 1 is Giannis, because he is still Giannis. The Bucks are quietly having a heck of a season, as there's no hangover here, right? They're not at the top of the standings, but they're in that upper echelon. They're within striking range. They've done this before. Giannis is arguably the best player on the floor wherever he goes. He's starting to, develop a little bit more of a shot, but what he's doing efficiency-wise, offensively, defensively, and what the Bucks are now starting to do as they are going to be rolling in the second half, and probably creeping up towards the top of their conference. I think Giannis right now, and I don't know what the odds are. I didn't check it updated this week, but that is just where I would put it in my current top 5 for MVP for this season. Durant gets hurt. He's leading the league in points right now, points per game. He's likely going to drop out of the race because he's going to be out for almost a month, almost 2 months. Going to hurt kind of like how it hurt Joel Embiid last year and allowed Jokic to, rightfully so, get that MVP last year.